Rivers in Philadelphia as they are parting ways with Doc Rivers, the head coach, after that Game 7 blowout to the Boston Celtics just a couple nights ago. We want to bring in AP writer, friend of the program, Corey Long. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. Certainly some maybe not so surprising news, kind of surprising news, but in the NBA, it's a short tether there as they're getting a few coaches that maybe you didn't think would go are now fired. What do we make of this latest news that Doc Rivers no longer with the Philadelphia 76ers?
Well, Andy, you think about it. You had 8 teams in the conference semifinals. Obviously, 4 of them won in advance. 2 of the 4 teams that lost fired their coaches, with Phoenix firing Monty Williams and now the Sixers firing Doc Rivers. What it leaves is you have 2 very good coaches that have tremendous records out there on the market, and it'll be interesting to see where they land and who these organizations bring in that they think can do better than what in Williams' case, the Phoenix Suns were 2 games away from winning an NBA title 2 years ago. Doc Rivers has won somewhere around 66% of his games in Philadelphia. You can look at even the first round, Mike Budenholzer with the Bucks, who won a title a couple of years ago and had the best record in the league this year. He gets fired. He's won almost 70% of his games with Milwaukee. So the question is, who are you bringing in that's better?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because you have some very good opportunities. Like you said, the Bucks, the Suns, the Raptors, the Pistons, and now the 76ers. And the 76ers might not even be the best spot for any coach to come into because you got Embiid, who clearly feels like he wants some help. You have Harden, who potentially may not be there. What do we make of Embiid and Harden's comments after Game 7? Because they said, hey, it's a 5-on-5 game and they need some help. And as an MVP, those words coming out of your mouth must be hard to take as well.
Well, it's a 5-on-5 game, but there are 2 guys on the team that are making about $77 million in combined salary because they're paid to perform in those situations. Neither one of them did what they were supposed to do in Game 7. I mean, you can win a game or you can lose a game, but when your top guys don't show up, you're not going to win the basketball game. But you know what this also shows, Andy, is that it's a star league. This is a league that is driven by the players, and regardless of how good coach's record is, how good, what that win percentage is, if the star guys decide we don't want him here, he's gone. Like there's no room for there's no room for negotiation. If this is a star-driven league, you need stars to win. If the star decides he doesn't want the coach is gone.
Yeah, and what are the odds that Harden remains a Philadelphia 76er? Because he is an absolute stud, putting up 40 in one of the playoff games there against the Boston Celtics. But he is more Robin to a Batman in an NBA franchise. He won't be maybe option number 1 for a franchise, but he's going to demand a pretty high salary. What are the odds he remains in Philadelphia, and maybe where else could he land?
He's still playing at a high level. And if he's not an option 1, he's an option 1.5. So he has a player option to stay in Philadelphia that I think would pay him around $35 million. They can go back to the negotiating table. They can sign him to an extension. There's a general belief that James Harden's his situation with Doc is what caused this move, and the Sixers are obviously very invested in keeping him in the organization. He's got a lot of support there in the front office, so that's going to be that. So he was going to win a power struggle with Doc Rivers. So obviously the Sixers are interested in keeping him long term. We'll see if that happens. I think that's going to happen. I think this move almost guarantees that happens.
All right, that is certainly will hold you to it. But you mentioned the Sixers, the Bucks, who won a title. Giannis not going anywhere there in Milwaukee. The Suns, who just added Kevin Durant, also have Devin Booker. The Raptors and also the Pistons, potentially depending on what happens later on tonight. What is the most intriguing job there in the NBA that's open currently?
I have to think it's the Phoenix job. because they just brought in Kevin Durant. There's going to be some time there to get some chemistry. You're at the back end of Chris Paul's career, so there's a definite win now. They're all three of those jobs, the Sixers, the Bucks, and the Suns, are win now, but the Suns especially are a win now. And they're a win now in a very hard conference where you still got the Lakers, you've got Jokic, who could have been a 3-time MVP this year, and the Nuggets playing at a high level. You've got teams that did make the playoffs, like the Dallas Mavericks, who have Luka and Kyrie, are looking to re-sign Kyrie Irving. So it's a star-studded conference. But Phoenix they've got brand new ownership. That's gonna, he's an owner that's gonna give everything he's gonna put together all the resources. So it's the best job. And for me, it's just kind of figuring out where these puzzle pieces fit. Who's gonna have a job at the start of next year, and who's not. Who's gonna end up probably on TV until the job breaks in for them.
That is a very good point. A lot of those kind of take a year hiatus before jumping right back in. And the Suns, certainly a lot of pieces they traded away, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, to get Kevin Durant. So certainly a lot of pieces on the bench there for the Suns.